Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, if you're new to this channel and if you enjoyed this video. So, you know, King Kong, he has some words to say about Anthony Joshua. I'm going to be quoting him now. I'm willing to fight either guy. I want a title shot, but I would probably choose Wilder, even though I feel Joshua is the easier fight. With Wilder, I had a fight that I feel I should have won, so it's like a thorn in my side I want to remove. I think Joshua is too basic, and I put him to sleep. I don't think he'd last more than 3 rounds with me. He's robotic and slow, and I'd put him to sleep. Mr. Luis King Kong Ortiz, a.k.a. the Tony Thompson, the Cuban Tony Thompson, the new Tony Thompson. He says that when it comes to Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, he wants both of them, but he wants Wilder just because of the fact that he felt he was beating Wilder, and you know, he came up short against him. But then he says that he feels that Anthony Joshua is an easier fight for him than Deontay Wilder. And his reasons for that is he says that Anthony Joshua is too basic, he's robotic, he's slow. And Luis Ortiz does not think that Anthony Joshua would last 3 rounds with him against him. But here's the thing. Most people felt that Christian Hammer wouldn't last 3 rounds with you. Most people felt that Travis Kaufman wouldn't last 3 rounds with you. Most people felt that Malik Scott wouldn't last 3 rounds with you. Most people felt that Dave Allen wouldn't last 3 rounds with you. Even when you fought Deontay Wilder, you had a bunch of hardcore Luis Ortiz fans saying that Deontay Wilder wouldn't last 3 rounds against Luis Ortiz. Because when it came to Luis Ortiz, he was always perceived as this big, monstrous puncher who's killing everyone he fights, and he's just bulldozing right through everybody he fights. Yeah, all those guys I mentioned, he didn't just bulldoze over any of those guys. And none of those guys are as good as Anthony Joshua. None of those guys. Alright? He went 7 rounds with Dave Allen. He didn't brutally knock out Dave Allen. Dave Allen was sitting on his feet when he stopped him. I've always felt that Luis Ortiz was an overrated puncher. I think when he beat Brian Jennings, people automatically categorized him as a puncher. Oh shit, he's a monster puncher at heavyweight. But if you think about it, he hasn't really brutally knocked anybody out since then. The only guy I could think of since he knocked out Brian Jennings was what's his name? Raz Van Cajano. But Raz Van Cajano is a sparring partner bum. So you would expect Luis Ortiz to knock out a sparring partner bum. But he didn't brutally knock out Dave Allen. He couldn't knock out Malik Scott. He didn't knock down Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is known to be chinny. He didn't brutally knock out Travis Kaufman. And he went the distance with Christian Hammer. So in my opinion, I don't think he's a big of a puncher that people claim he is. I think his punching power is way overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think he hits hard, but I don't think he's a monstrous one-punch knockout artist, as people claimed. So if Luis Ortiz expects me to believe that he's going to, if he fought Anthony Joshua, he would knock him out in 3 rounds, you must be joking. There's no way Joshua will get knocked out in 3 rounds unless he does something stupid and he goes in there with his hands, you know, behind his back, daring Luis Ortiz to knock him out. But if Anthony Joshua goes in there the way Anthony Joshua normally fights, he's going to get past 3 rounds. You know, he claims that Anthony Joshua is an easier fight. You know, he also claimed before he fought Deontay Wilder that Deontay Wilder was you know, he had poor technique. It was an easy fight for him. Yeah, he got dropped 3 times and he lost. Right? But he was so confident he could beat Deontay Wilder. You know, careful what you say. This is one reason why I really want to see Ortiz versus Anthony Joshua. Even though Ortiz is overrated, and I've claimed in the past, and I said in the past he's overrated. Even though he's really a B-level heavyweight, but many Deontay Wilder fans want to act like he's elite level. I still want to see him face Anthony Joshua just so Anthony Joshua could prove me right when he beats and spanks Luis Ortiz, because that's an easy fight for Anthony Joshua. I have Anthony Joshua winning that all day. I would pick Dillian White to beat Luis Ortiz at this point. And I want that to happen because if Anthony Joshua, these other fans who are now calling, you know, Luis Ortiz washed up, these guys would forever say that Anthony Joshua ducked Luis Ortiz because because ever since Luis Ortiz fought Deontay Wilder, they've been going around saying that Anthony Joshua's thugging Luis Ortiz because, you know, they have him they have him real high up there when it comes to the greatest heavyweights of all time. And the only reason they do that and they have him so high for Deontay is because Deontay Wilder fought him, and because that was Deontay Wilder's best opponent. Which is kind of sad that Deontay Wilder's best opponent was a 39-year-old. Deontay Wilder's best victory was against a 39-year-old who was a B-level heavyweight. That's his best victory, folks. Just in case you didn't know. So, I mean, do you guys agree with Luis Ortiz when he calls Anthony Joshua a robotic heavyweight? A slow heavyweight? He says he'll put him to sleep. He says he won't last 3 rounds with him. He calls him basic. Christian Hammer was basic, son. Christian Hammer went 10 rounds with you. Christian Hammer landed straight right hands, looping right hands on your face flush. He landed so flush, he caused you a nosebleed. He was basic. Why couldn't you take out basic Christian Hammer? You're so confident in taking out supposedly basic Anthony Joshua, but you couldn't take out basic Christian Hammer. You couldn't brutally take out basic Dave Allen. Dave Allen was landing flush on Luis Ortiz. Dave Allen is probably top 100, top 80, minimum top 80 at heavyweight. This dude was landing fresh, and this was 3 years ago, fresh on Luis Ortiz's face. You guys hold Luis Ortiz to a high standard, man. Luis Ortiz is delusional just like his fans. And just like Deontay Wilder fans who claim this guy's a boogeyman. This guy thinks he could school Anthony Joshua. He doesn't know what's coming. I'm telling you, man. I really want this fight to happen just to see Luis Ortiz get an ass whooping against Anthony Joshua, and just so we could compare how Anthony Joshua does and fares against Luis Ortiz compared to, you know, Deontay Wilder's life and death struggle. You know, because he did struggle the entire fight against Luis Ortiz, and that's another sad thing, you know. He struggled and went life and death against Luis Ortiz, who's a B-level heavyweight. That's crazy. He went life and death against B-level Ortiz. B-level Ortiz. 39-year Ortiz was a B-level and 39. Wilder went life and death with this guy. Just goes to show you the quality of Wilder. These guys have the nerve to say that Wilder's the best heavyweight on the planet. He don't got no skills, bro. He just got that right hand. Anyway, guys, I have to say thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and if you enjoyed this video, I do appreciate it. Bye-bye.